Hey, what's up, everybody? You are now listening to the Success Playbook podcast. I am so excited, y'all. We have a very special edition today. It is our Black History Month edition, it's our HBCU edition, and I am completely honored to have HBCU student, Howard student, join us, Leah Peterson. What's going on, Leah?
Hi, Chanelle. I'm super excited to be on the podcast, specifically in time for Black History Month. It's a great time to just highlight the achievements that we're doing for the community and also just, sharing some of our great stories to inspire other people. So I'm super excited to be here today.
Listen, we're excited to have you. Before we dig in, I want the people to know everything about you, all the things. But before we do that, I want to play a little game with you. Are you up for the challenge?
Yes. I love games. I love games. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
Okay, all right. So for those who are new listeners, it'll be a game of this or that. I'm going to present Leah with two different options. She's going to have to pick one quickly and then give us her reasoning why. All right, Leah, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Howard homecoming or game day?
Howard Homecoming for sure. Best time of the year. Great to see all the alumni, community members come out. Always great food vendors as well. So it's definitely a time to be on campus. The weather's great. Music's great. Just beautiful all around. Howard Homecoming.
Okay, I've never been to a Howard homecoming.
You have to go. And next year is gonna be my senior year, so it's gonna be my last year. So it's gonna be a big homecoming for me. So I definitely would love to take you with me for next year.
Oh, yay. Okay, so I got somebody to go with.
Yes, Howard Homecoming. On the way, on the way.
Okay, books or podcasts?
I would definitely say books. I love to read. I feel like again, like it's becoming like a lost art, just the love of reading. So I'm currently reading Pride and Prejudice right now. I love to read, so definitely a great pastime and hobby when I do get the time to read. So love reading.
Okay, okay. What's your like genre that you usually read?
I love like romance, honestly. I feel like it's so corny, but I love romance and I'm also a Russian minor, so I do read like a lot of Russian literature when I do get the time as well, either for class or in my free time. So my first Russian book that I read was Crime and Punishment. It's a super, super thick book, but it's really good. Despite the fact there's always like 20 characters in like Russian literature, it's always still really fun to read it. And so yeah, I suggest everyone to just pick up a book, find a genre that you like and, get lost in the reading. It's really fun.
Is it thick like Harry Potter thick or thick like
I think it might be even thicker than Harry Potter. It's like
oh
almost
my goodness.
size of like a dictionary, and like the words are so small in the pages, and there's like 20 characters. They all have super complicated, really long names. It's a lot, but it's super fun once you finally get the gist of it, and you kind of figure out like who's who and what's going on. But that happens
Oh.
like 3 chapters in, but it's still good.
Okay, group projects or solo grind?
I would definitely say group projects. I'm a very outspoken people person, so I love to work with other people. I think I really thrive off of just like other people's input, feedback, and ideas. And it's always really cool to support and help other people in a group setting as well, because we do get work done best when we have people around us that are rooting for us and helping support us. So I really love group projects.
Okay, okay. Early mornings or late nights?
Late nights. I think my schedule has kind of become like a little weird since I've been a college student. And maybe it's partially the fact that I drink like a lot of coffee and also Dr. Pepper, but I'm super caffeinated at night. And I feel like I'm most productive at night as well. So definitely late nights.
Okay, I knew you were a Dr. Pepper girly. Have you seen
Yes. I actually have one like right next to me right now.
I've gotten into Dr. Pepper Zero, the zero sugar
Okay.
one with the
I don't
strawberry.
I don't do that. I don't do that, but I might have to try it. So yeah.
Okay. Have you seen the viral Dr. Pepper commercial?
The one with the new jig that
Jingle.
everyone's talking about. Yeah, the
Yeah.
jingle. It's really good. It's really good. I love it. I'm so sad. I'm like, I wish I thought of that idea first. But yeah.
Okay, last question. Who is the real HU?
I feel like it goes without saying, obviously Howard, when we hear HU, we obviously always think about Howard. There's been a debate for the longest if it's us or Hampton, but Howard definitely takes the one on that for sure. So I'm like having technical difficulties with my light right now, y'all. Like, I'm not sure what's going on, but yeah. Ooh,
All
sorry,
good.
Chanelle.
All good. So while you figure that out, I'm gonna ask our next question.
Okay, I
So
will turn my camera off and be listening and
okay,
engaged.
yeah. So let's kind of start from the beginning. So I want to know
Yes.
your background. I want the people to know, like, of course, how we know each other, um, and then I just want to know, like, where are you from? You talked about being a Russian minor studies major or minor. So what's your major? What are you doing? Like, who is Leah? How do you show up in the world?
Yes, this is the age-old question between pageants, interviews. I think this question definitely varies depending on what space people are asking that Leah is in. But Leah, at her core, and I think it's rooted definitely from my upbringing. I was raised in the church, Southern church at that. And I was also raised the only child for most of my life too. So I've always just been like a very outgoing, outspoken person. I love to meet new people, and I have like a goal of myself every day that I tell myself is to make a new friend every day. So whether that's like me walking on the yard or walking wherever and I see someone, I say, oh my gosh, I really love your hair. And like, that opens a conversation to something really great. I do love to go out of my way to make other people feel like, supported and seen, and also to like make new friends. So I'm a very, very, very friendly person. I love to try new things as well. So I recently got into hiking. So I feel like it's a very like spontaneous hobby, but it's been really fun. Definitely like a good way for me to decompress. And like you said earlier, I am a Russian minor as well, so I love to read and learn about other cultures as well. I have a bucket list of just all the places that I want to travel to. So very spontaneous, very outgoing, and I'm very bubbly and I love people. So yeah. And my camera is working now, so we're back with the setup. So thank you,
Love
everyone,
it.
for bearing with me for that.
Awesome. Okay, so you like hiking. Where do you hike at in DC?
Yeah, so it's not even in DC, and I feel like maybe I've been acting up a little bit since I have my car now. I drive like over like a little bit of an hour to go to Shenandoah, which is in Virginia. And they have a beautiful hiking trail. Like last time I went out there, it's a little too cold to go hiking right now, but they have so many like beautiful wildlife, just like things that you can see. So you're out there with the deer, really pretty birds, bunnies, squirrels, anything that you can think of out there. And the sights are truly so beautiful. It's so good to be like from DC when like you're sitting in your room and like all you hear throughout the night is just like cars and like people talking outside, to just being somewhere where it's complete silence
Mhm.
and you can just really rest with your thoughts. So hiking is super fun. And I suggest everyone just try it out like at least once.
Can we go hiking?
We should go hiking. Like I'll drive too. I love a
It
good
sounds
drive.
fun.
We should go. And there's a really good apple cider donut spot on the way there. So they have like really good breakfast and homemade like apple cider spice donuts. They are so good. So good. We gotta go.
Let's make it a thing. Oh,
Mhm. We
okay.
should definitely do that. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about pageantry because I met you during a pageant. So tell us about your
Yes.
current title.
Yeah, so I currently serve as Miss Black District of Columbia, USA for the year of 2026. And Chanelle, as many of y'all may or may not know, she is my older sister queen, and she's the Miss to my Miss. So super excited to be a part of this system. It's really amazing to be a part of a system where you see women, specifically women of color, being uplifted in their natural state, in their natural voice, and being able to use their platforms and titles to really create meaningful change in the communities that they so, love to see and be a part of and want to help as well. So it's truly been a phenomenal experience for me to grow as a person and have like such amazing sister queens and directors and just people that I meet along the way that are tremendous supporters and have poured so much into me, and I look forward to continue to also finding ways to pour into them as well. It's definitely really fun. I feel like pageants definitely have like a kind of like a bad rep. Like people think that they're just beauty pageants and people only do them because they want to get glitz and glammed up, and obviously that is like a little part of it. But there's so many other layers to pageants. You have to interview, you have to have a platform, and all these other important aspects. So I definitely think that everyone, guy or woman, should definitely try to do a pageant at least once in their life, because I think it really does push you outside of like your boundaries and what you're used to. We actually have a Mr. DMV pageant coming up soon, so for the guys out there that are interested, definitely apply if y'all are interested in that.
And how are you balancing pageantry and being a student?
That is a great question. I feel like balance is something that I'm continuously trying to work on, because I'm the type of person that likes to put so much on my plate and I hate to say no to people sometimes. So definitely have to grow out of that, because you get burnt out and you cannot pour from an empty glass or an empty cup, whatever the saying is. So I definitely just, make sure that I rely on my community and, help ask for help when it's needed. And I feel like that's something that a lot of Black women, I feel like we struggle with, is this kind of like superhero role that we try to portray, being strong all the time and, saying we have it all together all the time. And it's okay to need help, and it's okay to like rely on others around you. So I feel like my balance really does come from the strength and support of my community and them helping me when I need it, and then being a good space for me to just go to whenever things do get like a little overwhelming. But also, again, in partnership with that, learning how to say no and set boundaries as well when I can't do it all.
I think that is something that is great that you've learned. It took me a very long time to figure out that I can't, be something to everybody. So I'm really happy you learned that already. So what
Yes.
led you to ultimately choose Howard University?
Yeah, so I think a number of factors went into me choosing Howard. Um, going back all the way to college decision day, I did apply to, I think, a few other HBCUs because my mom did go to Alcorn. My grandmother went to Mississippi Valley. So, honorable mentions, they wanted me just to apply to say, oh, my daughter got an Alcorn or Mississippi Valley. So, I did apply to those. But I knew I wanted to be in a space where I was going to be surrounded by people that looked like me and also understood my story a little bit more uniquely, specifically like professors that could mentor me and pour into me. I knew that's something that I really did value. And then, in addition, like Howard is like in such an amazing location. We're right in the District of Columbia. So, it's a fast-paced moving city with so many opportunities that you can't even like imagine or fully wrap your mind around. So I was like, I knew this would be a great place for me coming from Fort Worth, Texas, which is still like a very big relatively city, but not as big in comparison to DC, for just opportunities and what I wanted to do. So I'm an economics major, and I wanted to work more with like the government side of things. So the location just kind of made the most sense for me. And then on top of that, like, it was freedom for me to go to school, and my parents really pushed for me to go somewhere where I wouldn't have to pay for school because, as y'all know, like, school is becoming increasingly expensive. Like, it's super, super expensive to go to school. So, all those factors truly led me to go to Howard. And, it was a hard decision when I was speaking to my high school counselor at the time because she didn't really understand what HBCUs were. And I remember I had an acceptance from Brown and Yale and a few other schools, and she was like, "Oh, Howard over," and I was like, "Well, yeah, I want to go to Howard." So researched the faculty and staff, and I was like, "What better place to spend my next 4 years than Howard?" And I'm glad I made this choice.
I don't want to brush over that. I love how you just said you got offers from Brown, from Yale, from all these other universities, and you chose Howard. You chose an
Yes.
HBCU.
Yeah, like I think a lot of times we glorify names over just like maybe what's the best fit for us. And I don't want to discredit these other institutions because I have friends that go there and even mentors that I look up to that have graduated and have been a part of these amazing institutions as well. But I think a lot of times, we shouldn't let, bias or preconceived notions about certain spaces kind of like give us a rose colored lens and just how we think that these institutions can be very beneficial. I mean, the universities speak for themselves, HBCUs speak for themselves, and like what they have produced and what they're continuously producing in the spaces that they're creating for people, young Black and brown professionals to grow and develop at. And so, I knew for me, like the things that I really wanted, like community, and then just certain things I couldn't get anywhere else but Howard. And it's a great choice and fit for me.
I love that. And so when we think about HBCUs, for me, I think about how they like really developed me as a leader, right? On campus, I was a part of this organization, that organization. I was, close knit with the office of the president. So I was helpful there. And, even being the vice president of my senior class, like taking that confidence into the boardroom with me, it's still with me to this day. So let's talk a little bit about how HBCUs develop leadership. So people often say, they build leaders. So from your lived experience, what does that look like on a day to day?
Yeah, I mean, even just down to how we go about going for our leadership positions. I have friends that go to different schools that aren't HBCUs, and when I tell them about campaign season, like they're like, "Girl, what? We make a graphic on Canva, and we go up there and we like say a little hi, hey, how are you? Vote for
Yo,
me,"
Leah,
and
I
that's
don't mean to
it.
cut you off. You just brought a memory up. Campaign season on an
It's a lot.
HBCU campus? Oh my God. Yeah, it's a thing.
Yes, it's like up there with homecoming, just the experience of
Yes.
like the campus being so live. People like go all out for campaign season, y'all. To put it in perspective, last year, people had food trucks giving out free meals to people. They had Beyonce tickets for auction MacBooks. I mean, like everything. It's like a big carnival basically, where people just come out, they vie for your vote, but they also do kind of like, they go out. They, especially for the bigger roles, our Mr. and Miss Howard, our student government presidents, like they really do go out for that. But I think all that being said, it's such a unique opportunity in just how we go about leadership at this school. One, just like how intense campaign season is, and it can be a little discouraging at times. I definitely, we have conversations about this, but it definitely does push you to strive to be better and to strive to work really hard and to set yourself apart. And so I think those are really strong qualities for leaders to to continue to persevere despite maybe having imposter syndrome or being like stressed. Am I going to have this role? Like, is this going to be meant for me? Persevering because that's your heart. If that's what you want to do, you should go for it. And so I think HBCUs are really a great place to really hone in on that as a leader. And whether you even do campaign season or not, you learn leadership like opportunities in so many other spaces, like just being a student here at Howard. I know I've kind of talked about it in passing, just like the day-to-day interactions that we have with financial aid, the day-to-day interactions we have with the bursar, or just like getting our schedule together. Like you have to be a leader um, to take charge of just your destiny and your future. And so I think Howard really does push you to do that and to not be complacent and to take your ground and find your voice as a leader.
I love that. And even like kind of digging into some of the other opportunities like the model and fashion troupe, like which is big in HBCU culture. I was a part of my university's fashion troupe. That was like one of my first times on, a big stage with a big audience, and that prepared me for the stages I'm on today. So, yeah, I love even like just examples like that.
There's so many opportunities, like so many.
So, how would you say Howard has intentionally helped you to develop your confidence, and not just academically, but socially and professionally?
Yeah, I will say that coming to Howard from a school where I was one of few black women, and I was also student government president at that time too, I really felt like a lot of times that my ideas weren't really considered as like like good enough a lot of times, or like my ideas, even when I was in class, I'd be scared to raise my hand because it's like these other kids, like like what am I going to say, is it going to be seen as like like not the most intellectual way to like think about a topic. I feel like Howard really rejects like that idea of kind of being scared to just like go for something, whether that's like you're sitting in the classroom and you want to contribute to the conversation, and you're scared to not have the right words all put together. As long as you like you have an idea, just share it. And, that really starts discussions, gets them going, because we all have different and unique perspectives, and that's really celebrated here. And I think that does build confidence, as a scholar, and even just being a student leader official as well. Like when I have ideas and I present them to admin, or even I present them to other students, like it's constructive and productive discourse that happens along the way, but it's always support and it's always love to see the best for each other, and our dreams to come to life. So I think that all that has really helped me like build my confidence when it just comes to the community that surrounds you at Howard. When it comes to just putting yourself out there, it's one like no other, and you truly find your people in your community that's that really help you get through all that.
So similarly, like how do HBCUs, like once you step on the campus, how does it help their students unlearn some of that self-doubt or even imposter syndrome, or like, sometimes we're the only in the room. So how does being an HBCU help us to combat that?
Yeah, I think what people fail to realize at times is that they say, well, you're at HBCU, like, the real world is not all black. And we definitely understand, we know that. I think Howard, even though it is a predominantly black and brown school, it definitely still does prepare you to be in spaces like that. I mean, you're not always going to have the same ideas like another person that just looks like you at times. So like we challenge each other, but it's always again like with that love and that feedback to just continue to like, go about things in a certain way that really does kind of enhance how you show up in like certain spaces and certain rooms. So I feel like again, like going back to what I said, like classroom spaces are always just great for open dialogue, being like, super accessible with like admin, and if you have a question with them, like, it's just so many great opportunities to continue to like really help you unlearn that self-doubt and that imposter syndrome, because like again, the community here is one like no other. Like you won't feel like you're alone or navigating things by yourself. So it's always like a great open space to just really help you develop and be prepared for the real world.
I love the point you just made too, because that is sometimes a lot of the pushback that we get with HBCUs, right? People think that it's not diverse or whatever, or they think it conditions us and cripples us because the real world isn't all black. But HBCUs are extremely diverse. Like, yes,
Mm-hmm.
it's an HBCU, it's a black campus, but that's the first time in the world where I'm interacting with my neighbors who are from New York, and then my other neighbors on this side who's from Philly, and then you got the DC crew, and then you got this crew and that crew. You got the West Indian student. Like it's a big melting pot of blackness, and blackness is diverse. The diaspora is diverse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't even realize how big of an international population that we have on Howard's campus. Like, we even have in our student government, we have a non-traditional international student division just to like help these students as well. So I think that when people kind of minimize HBCUs to just being a black thing or just being a POC thing, I'm like, well, even within our own identities, we are so diverse. We're not a monolith. We come in so many different shapes, sizes, colors, backgrounds, stories, and everything. And even if you are like, still another girl from Texas, like we have completely different stories. So like I've met so many people in my Texas club, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I've never thought of this that way, or I've never experienced that. So all these things still do help you in a very productive and loving way learn how to, navigate people with different backgrounds and ideas, and also like how to like, take that in and like use that as inspiration and learn from their experiences as well. So it truly is a beautiful place to be, like just surrounded by so many diverse, beautiful stories and beautiful people.
And so when we talk about, HBCUs and future proofing HBCUs to ensure not only they have impact today, but they have impact year over year, and it's a timeless system. So what do you think is most critical right now to ensure that, we can future proof HBCUs?
I think conversations like this is the start, and it's really what's going to keep it going. Again, a lot of the comments that we have about HBCUs stem from ignorance or just not enough information or people speaking about HBCUs in an accurate and positive light. And I think it's really important now more than ever when we're seeing like a lot of attacks on institutions that really prioritize and help students to be in spaces like this, whether it's through funding or just other things that are being said around just like minimizing these institutions, that people like me, people that are alumni that have, went on with their career trajectory and they're doing great things, continue to reach back and look back and continue to speak about how these HBCUs have developed them. Because, we can't let our stories get erased and we can't let our stories be minimized. So it's really important and it's really critical for the future of HBCUs, to just really keep speaking about the beauty and the power that these schools really do hold.
And then, so like, how can alumni help with that? How can alumni assist you all with future proofing these institutions that we love so much and hold near and dear to our hearts?
Yeah, one beautiful thing about Howard, and I'm sure many other HBCUs probably do the same as well, is the alumni networks and associations. It's so important to continue to not only, coexist with each other as alumni, but also to bring in the younger people, students that aren't even like in college yet, the high school students, bring them in to tell them what HBCUs are, to get more students to come to HBCUs, to support our current students right now, mentor them, give them advice and guidance. There are so many Black professionals that come from Howard that are across so many different fields and sectors that so many students are trying to get into. So it's so important to not, be focused on our own trajectories and our own successes and wins, but also looking back and pulling other people up with us, because success for the community can't happen in isolation. It happens when we come back and come together as a collective. And so I think it's really important that alumni continue to reach back, in those different aspects, with whether it's mentorship, whether it's helping through funding and providing scholarships so that a student can attend school, or whether it's just, being open to just come back to speak. I think it's really important that alumni continuously stay engaged and think about their HBCUs and don't forget them.
And along those same lines, beyond the alumni, what can corporations do? What can communities do to continue that we're to ensure that we're future proofing HBCUs?
Yeah, kind of similar lines. So, so many school corporations and companies are always looking at diverse talents to recruit. Well, look no further than HBCUs. I think a lot of times, again, like I said earlier, a lot of times I do see like companies and seeing the students that they pull from, they tend to be Ivy League institutions or top institutions, and it's like, well, our HBCUs are also still competing and producing some of the same, if not even greater talents than some of these institutions as well. So I think it's really important to make sure that we're diversifying our pool of where we're pulling students from, to even just offer them opportunities and to network and reach out with them. And then two, as well, when it just comes to support, and showing up on campuses as well, our school of business and actually all of our schools are always having career fairs as well. So it's so important to stay engaged, to find ways that you can continuously put your name out there to HBCU students, because a lot of times it's not that the students don't have the skills to do so and the skills to be able to take on a position. It's just like simply they don't know about the opportunities. And so it's always like a knowledge and information gap that happens. And I think that it's on corporations, but also institutions, to come together and do that outreach to make sure that the students are equipped with the resources to be a part of these same opportunities that our Ivy League institution brothers and sisters are also a part of as well.
So, where do you think some of the ignorance comes from? Some people think that we talked about HBCUs maybe not being diverse. Maybe they don't produce the quality of student that you'll get at an Ivy League. Where do you think all these stigmas come from? Because we know it's bullcrap.
Yeah. That's a good question. And I'm still trying to find the answer, honestly, because I mean, the proof is in the pudding, but I think a lot of it is selective, you know, and willful ignorance. I think a lot of people choose to acknowledge certain things that they want to be true, and I think a lot of it is fear. How scary is it to see an institution that is completely comprised of Black and brown individuals being up there with these institutions that hundreds of billions of dollars and endowments and all these other great things, our students are competing just as much, just with not even half of what these schools have. And so I think it's fear of the truth, but I think again these conversations that we're having and making sure that HBCUs are put on a global stage and in our daily conversations are going to really help combat that, because it's like you can't run from the truth. These schools are great, and it's important to continue to acknowledge that and to not take away and to minimize these schools, because they're doing great work and they need our help.
Very well said. You ate that up. Great
Thank
answer.
you.
Listen, the dynamic duo, Ms. Black DC, Ms. Black DC, we are out here changing the world, making impact. Shout out to Howard University. Shout out to my school, Delaware State University. Shout out to everybody's Royal Court. Shout out to
Yes.
all the Greek organizations that's out there. So we love y'all. Keep thriving. Leah, share some last words with the folks who are listening right now.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're not in college, if you are, professional, if you're in high school, whatever age or demographic you may be, I know we talked a lot about school. So if you're considering sending your child to HBCU, if you're considering thinking about going to HBCU, definitely just do it. And if y'all have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me or Chanelle. I think we have great experiences with both of those things to maybe help you along the way if you have any questions. But also, just like a reminder in general, that I just always like to tell everyone is that a lot of times people see me and see all the great things that I'm doing, and I like to tell people that you can do it too, and you can be that as well. We all have the magic that inside of us to do anything that we want to. Just aim big, work hard, dream big, and you might land on some stars. Shoot for the moon, you might land on some stars. So keep working hard, keep dreaming big, and put yourself out there, and don't be scared. Don't let that fear that other people are putting on you, or the fear that you have for yourself, stop you from reaching your potential. So the sky's the limit.
Awesome. Thank you, Leah.
Thank you. This has been great.
Yes, yes. So we're gonna have you back. So
I'm excited. Super
yes,
excited to be back soon. Thank you so much for having me again, Chanelle.
thank you and have a great semester.
Thank you as well. Have a great year.